Harry's Wife, A Lesson Royal Narcissist, Part 63.4. Alert. Incoming arse-licking piece. Alert. Incoming arse-licking piece. Prepare your chuck bucket. We turn to a further analysis appertaining to the world of Harry's Wife with an article from Fox News by Stephanie Nolasco, headed Prince William should finally accept the happiness of Harry's wife. Prince Harry following reunion. Author. Good of her to tell Prince William how he should behave. While Prince Harry headed back to his home country to honour Princess Diana, no, it's Diana, Princess of Wales, the Duchess of Sussex stayed behind in California with their 2 young children. Harry's wife stayed behind in California as her husband, Prince Harry, headed to his home country, and there's no doubt the Duchess of Sussex will be scrutinised by the tabloids over her absence. Quite possibly, I've already done it. Harry, 36, and his older brother Prince William, 39, reunited on July the 1st, which would have been their late mother, Princess Diana, Princess of Wales, 60th birthday. They led the unveiling of a statue they commissioned to honour her life and legacy. The Princess of Wales passed away in 1997 at age 36 from injuries she sustained in a parish car crash. Harry's wife, 39, is currently in California, where the couple resides, with their 2 children, Archie Harrison, 2, and Lilibet Diana, who was born on June the 4th. While the British press is figuring out how many ways they can skewer Harry, who appears to have found his happiness and broken a toxic cycle, Harry's wife will be put through the thresher that is Fleet Street Press for not accompanying her husband, even though she is a postpartum breastfeeding mother with a toddler in tow as well, royal author Leslie Carroll told Fox News. Well, there is the arse-licking and the lack of understanding. Harry hasn't broken a toxic cycle, he's still stuck in it. But of course, this commentator, blinded by their own need to ram their nose firmly up the bottom of Harry's wife, and there engage in a little bit of lickety-lickety-lick, fails to see that this is a narcissistic ensnarement, and all of that which comes with it. Harry hasn't broken a toxic cycle. He has been conned into believing that he has done so by the manipulative behaviour of his wife, and others have fallen for it, believing that she is there to help him. Indeed, his wife will be put through the thresher that is Fleet Street, because there are those that simply don't like her based on her behaviour. Not who she is, not what colour she is, or colour she claims to be, as it seems to shift depending on who she talks to, but quite simply as evidenced by her behaviours. Nobody objects to who Harry's wife is. People object to the way that she behaves, and of course those behaviours stem from the fact that she is governed by her narcissism. And of course, as I mentioned in an earlier section of Part 63, she's entirely appropriate that she would remain in the United States on the basis of being a postpartum breastfeeding mother with a toddler in tow as well. But that is, as I explained, the utilisation of the majority perspective truth as a convenient basis for the assertion of control by avoiding being put in a situation which would threaten her control further, namely a royal family that would not be best pleased to have the Viper return. The article continues. Carol has written 7 books on the loves and lives of European royalty. Most recently, she wrote American Princess, except she isn't, the love story of Harry's wife and Prince Harry. So, of course, the arse-licking credentials are firmly demonstrated, which details the couple's courtship leading up to their May 2018 royal wedding. She is aware of Harry's alleged feud with William since the couple decided to step back as senior members of the royal British family, or the British royal family. Carol believes it is the Duke of Cambridge who should step up and make amends. Well, of course you would do, as a mouthpiece for Team Sussex. I wish that William could finally accept the happiness of the Sussexes. Well, he can't accept it for these reasons. One, he realises that there isn't any actual happiness there. He sees the pain that his brother is experiencing. He is able to see through what is actually occurring. He may not realise that it is narcissism in action, but he recognises that his brother is being manipulated, that his brother has been pulled away from him, that their hitherto excellent relationship has turned sour. And why did it turn sour, and when did it turn sour? Oh yes, when one Harry's wife made an appearance. He is not going to accept the happiness because he sees that there isn't any, and moreover, he's not going to be told what to do by some author, and because he sees the behaviour of this particular individual as particularly reprehensible, divisive and difficult. The article continues, people are different, and everyone has their own path to the altar. It took William a decade to realise that Catherine was the one. Indeed, yes it did, because he took things slowly. He allowed their relationship to grow in a method whereby it wasn't rushed because there was no need to assert control. And of course, this author isn't able to distinguish between the narcissistic dynamic and a non-narcissistic dynamic. The article continues, Harry realised it for himself almost immediately on meeting Harry's wife. No, he was infatuated with her as a consequence of his emotional thinking, peaking because of the appearance of a narcissist. In other parlance, he was cunt-struck. There is no right or wrong way to find your person. Yes, there is, you dimwit. There is a right way. You avoid the wrong people, and the right people automatically fall into place. The article continues, I've long said, only half in jest, that the British royal family is the world's longest-running soap opera, she continued, and it is the media that keeps feeding the narrative, of which your golden goose is particularly apt at doing, plumping up the plot, wherein heroes and villains and villainesses are selected, and whose storylines are fed to the public. It is also ironic to me that William and Catherine and Harry were instrumental in forming the Heads Together mental health awareness campaign in Great Britain, and William had the sensitivity to recognise how important this issue is for his future subjects who may be suffering. Why does he not seem to extend that same concern for his own kid brother? Well, he absolutely does. That's why he has spoken out in the terms that he has. That is why he has backed off from dealing with Harry's wife, because he sees that she's trouble. And it is doubtless that he has attempted to get his pig-headed brother, who's trapped in his own emotional thinking, to see what's actually going on. But you, Carol, are so firmly stuck there up the bottom of Harry's wife that your eyes are firmly set straight forward in a blinkered fashion, and you're completely unable to see what is actually occurring. Carol shared, and accept the fact that Harry has a happy marriage. No, he doesn't, to a woman who, so much like their own mother, is his biggest fan. Again, the comparisons with Diana. Carol pointed out that Harry himself revealed how Harry's wife has been a supportive force in his life. Yes, duped by the manipulations and his own emotional thinking. He candidly spoke about his mental health to Oprah Winfrey in the Apple TV Plus docuseries, The Me You Can't See, where he serves as co-creator and co-executive producer. Harry tells Oprah that every time he'd be on a flight returning to London, he was triggered because of what happened to him growing up there, said Carol. I found Harry's revelation about being triggered every time he was about to touch down in London again so striking. Of course, he was born into a family where, as a proverbial spare, one would think that he would have more freedom to be the architect of his destiny than William, whose destiny was set from the day that he was born. Ironically, his PTSD is not triggered by his battlefield experiences, but by those as a boy, in the company of his mother, who was hounded by the press and cornered like an animal by cameras and microphones and pushy paparazzi, she continued. It's the grasping hands and the flashbulbs and the viciousness of the media that trigger Harry's anxiety, and the very real fears that he could lose another woman dear to him, his wife. And of course, what she fails to realise is that his own PTSD continues to be manipulated by Harry's wife through the manipulation of use of a vulnerability against the victim, and that she has successfully triangulated him with the press to cause her to label them as the enemy, thus nullifying the threat that they pose to her, and at the same time as roping Harry in as a willing and able lieutenant and a mouthpiece on her behalf. So I believe, the article continues, that as Harry heads back home alone, which will clearly trigger countless painful emotions for him, Harry's wife will be figuratively holding his hands in that reassuring way of hers, clasping one of his hands in both of hers. They will also be in constant communication by phone and video chat. Indeed they will, Carol, and once again, you completely miss the point. She will be figuratively holding his hands, not in that reassuring way of hers, but in her controlling manner. The grip of doom. And you've identified that she clasps one of his hands in both of hers, not because she cares, not because she's compassionate. She's devoid of those things because she's a narcissist. She does it for facade management and to control Prince Harry. Of course, they will be in constant communication by phone and video chat. It's called hoovering, the direct assertion of control. The article continues. Harry's wife, a former American actress, became the Duchess of Sussex when she married Harry in May 2018 at Windsor Castle. The couple welcomed a son, named Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor in 2019. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex's departures from royal duties began in 2020 over what they described as the British media's intrusions and racist attitudes towards the former Suits star. The family now resides in the coastal city of Montecito, California. In the wake of quitting royal duties, they gave an explosive TV interview to Winfrey, 67, in March, in which the couple described painful moments about how dark Archie's skin might be before his birth. The Duchess talked about the intense isolation she felt inside the royal family that led her to contemplate suicide. Pity play. Buckingham Palace said the allegations of racism made by the couple were concerning and would be addressed privately. On June the 4th, the couple welcomed their second child, a daughter named Lilibet Lily Diana Mountbatten Windsor, and I have spoken about that previously. The child is 8th in line to the British throne. This article demonstrates, first of all, the toadying that goes on with a pro-Sussex journalist or writer, the fact that she completely misses the dynamic that's going on, and it's almost laughably ironic the manner in which that she identifies aspects of the narcissistic dynamic and then wholesale skips them, whereby she talks about the fact that she's reassuring and holding his hand and will be in constant communication and breaking a toxic cycle without realising that it's none of those things. And once again, another news article provides us with an opportunity to understand more about the narcissistic dynamic that occurs between Harry and his wife. In part 5, I'll be visiting another news article as they're coming thick and fast in order to give you yet more unrivaled insight. Join me there.